Okay, so Animorphs number 16, The Warning, is collectively known in the Animorphs fan community as the out-of-date computer book, as the plot unfolds through the use of the internet and hacking as it was in 1998. I know you expect me to make fun of the tech mentioned in the book, but I can't in good conscience make fun of it just for being dated. Instead, sporadically, I shall make fun of old computer commercials from around the same time this book was released. Enjoy! Scientists work around the clock to determine exactly when The Simpsons began to suck.
Now they face their greatest challenge ever.
Hey, no one messes with my brain until I get sprinkles. Suckers.
Now anyone can have
can
all
make
the
him
brain
better,
power they want.
stronger,
Just look for a PC
faster.
with an Intel processor inside.
By eliminating covalence inhibitors, we create triple-dense carbohydrates and thus the so-called super donut. Ooh. Many of you mock my interest in the pastry sciences.
Those of
What
you
do
shall
have
die.
inside?
It shows us all the places that we want to go and look.
We can't tell you our names, or where we live, or our IP addresses. The book opens with Jake logging onto the internet to do, well, not much. This was back in the days before YouTube, Facebook, MySpace, Twitter, Wikipedia, 4chan, Progressive Boink, That Guy with the Glasses, RiffTrax, Dr. McNinja, Yahoo Answers, Bejeweled Zuma, The Spoonie Experiment, Steam, Dinosaur Comics, and of course, YouJizz. So yeah, there wasn't a lot to do on the internet besides check your email and go to newsgroups. So Jake checks his mail, and is about to log off when he gets the strange urge to put the word "yerk" into a search engine, not expecting to find anything, of course, and not figuring that Tom might check his web history. However, one website does pop up. Surprised, Jake and the rest of the Animorphs meet up in Marco's house, as Marco has the best computer and internet connection out of the group, and they take a look. It's not a very well-made website, a cheapo GeoCities kind of deal, and it seems to be about 80% bullshit. There's a bunch of drawings of aliens that nobody recognizes, and a list of controllers that includes the president, which the Animorphs know can't be true, as they were directly involved in stopping the Yerk's plans and getting a controller into the White House in number 6, The Capture. However, there is a drawing of a Hork-Bajir, and Chapman is in the list, so somebody knows something. Finally, there's a chat room, an old-school one too, with a word limit smaller than your average tweet. I used to go on these kind of chats on AOL all the time, so reading Kay Applegate's transcriptions of such a chat is kind of nostalgic. The Animorphs disable their cookies and secretly enter the chat, discovering a horror beyond all horrors. A Vikings fan! The chat room is filled with a mixture of general chat room morons, people who seem to actually know things about the Yerks, and people who seem to be intentionally spreading misinformation. Our attention is drawn to a chatter named Gump8293, a young boy who believes his father is a controller and doesn't know what to do. Some rightfully tell him not to trust his father, some tell him to confront his father directly. Obviously Gump is in trouble, but the Animorphs have no idea where he lives or how to help him. By the way, as you would imagine, while all the computer talk is going on, Cassie gets very confused and starts bad-mouthing computers and the internet as a way to make up for her own lack of understanding. It turns out that Kay Applegate was venting her own frustrations at the internet through Cassie, and yes, I do have a quote. "I'm afraid I have a fairly one-sided view of the internet. I realize I'm using it right now, but aside from this sort of experience, I find the web a huge disappointment. If I want research, I can get what I need 10 times faster at any Barnes & Noble. As for chat rooms, they tend to sink rather quickly to the level of the lowest common denominator, which, given the anomaly of the web, is pretty low. Then again, maybe I'm just old." Hey, K.A., was Barnes & Noble where you learned that sharks can't jump? I can't really fault her on her points if you consider just what the internet was like in 1998. That said, it's a lot better these days. Research is a hell of a lot better. Though, remember students, don't list Wikipedia as a source. And all the chat room tards became 4chan tards, so the chat rooms are relatively safe to explore again. such as the chat rooms at Richard's Animorph Forum, the home of the biggest Animorphs fan community currently in existence. Richard's Animorphs Forums, it'll make you clean. This site is too big to simply ignore. It's either a trap set by the Yerks to find people aware of their presence, or it's a legit, if heavily incorrect site run by possible allies, and the Animorphs need to find out which it is and how to deal with it. However, neither Marco nor Axe have the hacking skills necessary, and we considered that the main reference for hacking at the time came from this. That's not surprising. So they'll have to get access to a major databank, such as the one in the headquarters of Web Access America, the AOL of this universe. You should have gone with one of the Mac goalies. Still not quite as annoying as those fucking trumpet things. Still, he runs pretty good video editing software.
Time for a Pentium 2 processor.
However, WAAHQ is too far away to fly their birds, so plan B is to go to the airport, more flies, and catch a 90-minute flight over to wherever this place is. The Animorphs get to the airport, and screw the 90s computer tech, it's the lax airport security that makes this book feel old. Remember we could get on the terminal without an airline ticket, just walk through the metal detector? Just make sure you don't have a laptop with a screen that's unusually bright. The Animorphs go to the restrooms, and we get some hijinks with Jake and Tobias getting into a bathroom stall together, wetting the panties of all Slash writers everywhere. They all more fly and cleverly reach the airplane due to a strategically placed dirty diaper. The Animorphs stow away in first class, and everything goes well for a while, until Marco, of all people, decides to play around in somebody's in-flight meal, which I wasn't aware they served on a 90-minute flight. And you know that flies are so inconvenient to rich white people.
I am on the board of directors of this airline, and I just saw a fly land in my Salisbury steak.
God, I can't imagine being an airline stewardess. I work in retail, and I know firsthand the superiority complex that both low-end customers and those higher on the food chain share. But at least the ass clowns from the district offices aren't always around. Anyway, Jake realizes they need to hightail it out of there before someone gets a swatter, but as they start flying the coach, Jake gets blindsided and swatted by the hand of one of the passengers. I was in the crack of the hand's lifeline, and because of that tiny indentation, I had not died, but I was shattered. My left wing was gone, ripped away. My right wing barely moved. I was blind in my right eye. 4 of my legs were broken. But by far the worst was that my body, my green-black body, had burst open. But there was no pain. No pain. Just terror. What follows is a short but brutal scene of the rest of the Animorphs, as flies, trying to carry the dying Jake to a safe place to demorph. In my opinion, it's the most unnerving scene in any of the Animorph books I've reviewed thus far, and really stuck with me in the 12 years after I read this book. Jake narrates the scene while in a peaceful, dying state, and it takes all his concentration to demorph inside the airplane bathroom. The plane lands and the rest of the Animorphs demorph. This random incident shakes Jake to the core, but he tries to keep it bottled up inside of him for the best he can. The Animorphs head to the Web Access America building, but not before stopping at the Taco Bell, which Axe promptly gets them kicked out of.
You kids stay out of here! Buy your crazy friend a bottle of Tabasco if he needs it.
Cookies!
Yeah, this was when Taco Bell was promoting that shitty American Godzilla movie, so the Animorphs are better off not giving them their money. The Animorphs find the WAA HQ and join a tour group, which shows that there must not be anything to do in this town the Animorphs are now in if a tour group to an office building gets a sizable crowd. The Animorphs find the databank room, so while Marco and Axe, the 2 most computer-capable members of the group, sneak in, the rest of the Animorphs cause a distraction. A silly distraction!
Is that a bear?
Yeah.
Is it mopping the floor?
Have
we gone nuts?
I'm not nuts. It's the bear who's nuts. That's carpeted up there.
Marco and Axe use the WAA office computers to pull up the personal data of all the known members of the chat room, which kind of makes this whole thing like the Patriot Act, but with Manimal. The Animorphs make their escape and go over the list of names, and make a surprising discovery. One of the chat room goers is none other than Joe Bob Finestra, the billionaire owner of Web Access America. I'd say he was this universe's Bill Gates, except Bill Gates actually exists in this universe. Marco, the group realist whose dream is to become rich and famous, won't stop gushing about the guy. "No way," Marco said. "That guy hangs out in chat rooms? If I were him, I'd spend my day rolling around in big stacks of $100 bills."
Oh, they're really going to have to get their money laundered.
Steve Forbes and his wife.
You know, with my budget, I'd be rolling around in a handful of change.
Yeah.
Oh, the paper cuts are brutal.
I have 100 caught in my throat.
The young Alan Greenspan.
Well, they got pretty badly injured when they tried this with gold bars.
They make love in English pound notes. Their sex is 50% better.